Just like its namesake, the Ford Everest is the ultimate peak for SUVs in its range, combining modernity, practicality, and power in one dynamic vehicle. It is certainly stylish, but it manages to impress the sense of strength and durability that Ford is so well known for. The 5-cylinder diesel engine has 197 horsepower and is capable of reaching 0 to 100 kilometers in 11.6 seconds, an impressive feat for such a sturdy automobile. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission paired with electric power-assisted steering, which makes it perfect for navigating treacherous winding roads or potholes. Fuel consumption is moderately high, but normal for an SUV with a powerful engine.
All right, welcome to this week's road review here on Revved. As we continue looking at some of the biggest machines in Kampala, we continue also focusing at some of the latest editions. This week, we have the Ford Everest. This is the 2016 edition. Beautiful machine. It's got lots of specs, and before we even talk about it, I'll tell you one thing. It's just increased the competition in that segment of cars that now are good on off and on the road. It's getting more and more competitive. And as always, we get the experts before we show you most of the specs of the car. And this week I'm joined by George Tadwong, who is of course the sales executive at Cooper Motors.
Yeah. Nice.
George, thank you very much for joining us on set.
Right.
It's a real pleasure. And thank you very much for bringing this beautiful machine. First question is, you guys in the car industry, you know about improvement from a year to the next. 2015, now this is 2016. What catches your eye first, even before we tell our dear viewer out there about what catches your eye here?
The new Ford Everest, you come with the 4-wheel drive versions. You just have a shift in the button. You don't need to engage and locking. And then you have things like stability control in this one, and then park assist and hill descent control system, which is common in most of the 4-wheel drive vehicles. But this one here is highly improved. When you drive this vehicle, you are actually stress-free. Yeah. Whenever, let us say, if you're driving, because most of the people are stressed during the time. When you're driving, the Ford Everest is more comfortable on the road.
Should be a good experience. 3.2, how better does the engine get now? More efficient?
Yeah, with the 3.2, because this is a turbo diesel common rail engine, so it uses the extra, the exhaust gas. For the compression, the engine. So you find that this one here, being a 3.2 engine, you still have better fuel consumption, better economy, an average of about 10 kilometers a liter. And then you have more power and greater torque. So you are able to access any terrain you actually require.
Inside, the Everest sports deluxe leather seating for up to 7 passengers, so it's suitable for everyone, including families. Notably, the terrain management system allows the driver to take on a variety of environments with confidence and control.
All right, so we are inside the Ford Everest now. It's time for us to check out the different beautiful specs that are inside. First of all, before you get into the car, as always, check out for the safety. Now, this is a 7-seater, and it's got 7 seat belts. Each seat belt with its own airbag. That means we're very safe, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's come inside. And now what happens is with the Ford Everest is like most of the new generation cars, you've got lots of buttons on your steering wheel, which mean different things. It can be something for Bluetooth, it can be something for cruise control, it can be something for your audio controls when you're in the car. It's actually got an app through its Bluetooth on your phone that you don't really have to dial. If you're driving, you don't really have to dial with someone. All you have to do is calling the name, and then it will voice recognize the name, which I think is a beautiful thing. Now it's got an information display unit right in front of the steering wheel, which again most of the new high-end cars have got. On one side you've got your fuel information. The car will tell you how much fuel you're remaining with. It will also tell you how much distance is remaining compared to the fuel you have, and will get you all sorts of details. And on the other side, you've got your infotainment system on the display unit, which should tell you what jam you want to play, how you're reducing your volume, and all that kind of stuff. So all these apps are beautiful stuff, which only improves your driving experience. Now, one of the other things I like as a driver, you've got a beautiful experience with the Ford Everest, because I mean, that's the whole altering of chairs to give you a good vantage point to whoever you're driving. It's got this whole display system in the middle, which is supposed to be for your AC, your volume controls, just in case you don't want to use your steering wheel. And it's got a very big display screen here. And the display screen is of course for different reasons. You can look at your entertainment, but more importantly, in terms of reversing and on big traffic, it also helps you use your what we call the blind spot sometimes, your rear camera, just to know how this works. Let me show you how good the rear camera of a Ford Everest is. Come with me as we go behind. Can you see me, guys? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this beautiful machine on the road. What we are dealing with is 147 kilowatts, that is its horsepower. And then we're also dealing with 470 Newton meters. That is when it comes down to its torque. Let's get it on the road. Now we've just gotten off the tarmac road and gone into a slightly rough road, and we just see how this car will do. Of course, one of the things the manufacturers always focus on is the traction, because you try to make sure your car moves as smooth as it is. The traction really helps you with grip, yes, with how easily the car gets to grips with the ground. So if you get off the road, specifically for cars like these ones, which now are being made for off-road experiences as well, the traction needs always to step it. And it's doing beautiful. We're not having any skidding at any time. First of all, the noise has fully been controlled. You don't hear anything inside. All I'm hearing now is silence. These are some of the roughest roads in Kampala, and trust me, the Ford Everest doesn't seem to be having a problem. Of course, there's also the advantage of it being a really raised car, and that means part of the impact of potholes is lost within all the other apps that come through the car, like shock absorbers, the tires, the seats as well, which are very adjustable, by the way, which makes it sometimes mean that when you hit a pothole in a highly raised car like this, you don't see much. We are going up. Of course, you've got the power. I don't seem to have a problem climbing anything, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's do this. I've reached here. I want to give myself some space. Okay? And try and rev it as fast as I can. By the time I get to the end of this line, I want to see what speed I will have reached. Since now I have my screen right in front of me, which gives me all the data, I would really want to see what speed I would have covered by the time I get to the top. Let's rev it! Let's rev it! 100 is what I... Did I just hit 100 in these few seconds? I love my job, man. I love my job.
The Ford Everest is a prime example of how modern SUVs are only increasing in style, power, versatility, and luxury. With so many motor brands offering such comprehensive vehicles, it's up to us humans to wrestle with the decision of which car is best suited to us. However, some models are clearly above the huddled masses. And from what you've seen, it's easy to tell why the Everest is part of this superior bracket.